In this video, we're going to review some things we learned in previous years. We're going to look at three things in particular. We're going to be looking at inequalities and equalities with numbers. We're going to be looking at multiples, and we're going to be looking at rounding. So let's start with equalities and inequalities. So there are three symbols that you guys have to know. First is one like this, okay? This here means if I have a number here, it is going to be less than the number here. My next symbol goes like this. So this number on this side is greater than the number on this side. So once again, this is less than, and this here is greater than. All right, now the other one we look at is equal. So I have something here and here. This is going to be equal. If you're getting confused with the less than, greater than, the way I like to look at it is thinking of it this way. Think of this as an alligator mouth. And the alligator mouth is always going to want to open up to eat the bigger number. So if I have a number here, if I have a number, let's say 6, well, 6 must be less than. We have to choose a number bigger. So let's try 8. Let's take a look at this one here. If I have 7, well, this must be bigger than whatever number's there, so let's try something like 4. And then here, if I have 5 here, I need a number equal. Well, the only number equal to 5 is 5. So using these symbols, let's try a couple examples here. Let's try this first one. If I have -2, and I want to know what symbol I'm going to use, and then we're going to put 4. So -2, is that less than, equal to, or greater than? Well, which way am I going to put this? Which one would the alligator eat? If it's missing 2 or 4, which one was it going to go to? It's going to go to the 4. Okay? Let's take a look at my next one. Let's try 9 and -5. So if I'm looking at 9 and -5, well, 9 is bigger than -5. So the alligator is going to open its mouth that way. Okay? And then let's try another one. Let's try one last one. -6 and -8. Well, look at it this way. Would you rather be short $6 or short $8? I know me, I'd rather be short $6. So I'd rather be $6 owing than $8. So this is the bigger one. The alligator will eat that one because it's slightly bigger. So now we're going to look at multiples. So what is a multiple? Well, let's look at some examples here. So let's start off with maybe 2. Multiples of 2 are going to be 4. And we could have 6. We could have 8. We can have 10. And it keeps on going on. Well, why are these multiples? Well, I look at this here. If I multiply 2 by 2, I'm going to get 4. If I multiply 2 by 3, I'm going to get 6. If I multiply 2 by 4, I'm going to get 8. If I multiply 2 by 5, I'm going to get 10. So pretty much another way I could look at it, all of these can be divided by 2 without a remainder. So multiple is something that can be divided by our number. So let's try something else here. Let's look at 5. What are some multiples of 5? Well, I know 10, because 5 times 2 is 10. Or I could divide 10 by 5 and I'll get 2. I know 15. 5 times 3 is 15. But if I divide 15 by 3, I'm going to get 5. Another one is 20. If I divide 20 by 5, I'm going to get 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. Okay? So I'm going to give you another example here. So I want to know what is not a multiple of 8. All right, so here are going to be my examples. I'm going to give you 24, 36, let's try 64, and let's try 16. All right, so let's look at these 4 numbers here. So I want to know which one of these is not a multiple of 8. So can 8 go into 24 an even amount of times? Well, 8 goes into 24. If we divide it by 8, it's going to be 3. So then this is a multiple. So this one is a multiple. Let's try 64. If 64 is divided by 8, that's going to give me 8. So this is a multiple as well. 16. If I divide this by 8, it's going to give me 2. So this is a multiple. 36. Can 36 be divided by 8? Well, let's double check that. So if I look at my multiples of 8, I'm going to have 8, 16, 24. I just keep on adding 8 every time. 32, 40, 48. Now I'm looking at this here. 36 is in between there. So this is not a multiple. This is my answer. 36 is not a multiple of 8. Okay? Now my last one here is going to be rounding. So here are some hints for rounding. All right, let's start off. So I like to look at it this way. Whenever we round, we're going to look at the number just before. So if I have 6.2 and I want to round to the nearest 1, so this is the part I want to round to. So that means I must look at the number just before it. If I have 6.257, I ignore these numbers here. If I'm just rounding to this one, I just look at the number closest right after. Okay, so we're looking at rounding here, okay? Now, here's my rule. I'm going to want you guys to try and memorize this. 0 to 4, we will leave as before. Okay? And then 5 to 9, we're going to move up the number line. Now, what does that mean? Well, I look at 2. Okay? We're looking at 6 here. We want to see, how does 2 affect it? Is 2 between 0 and 4, or is it between 5 and 9? Well, 2 is between 0 and 4. Well, now I look at that. If 2 is between 0 and 4, that means we leave as before. So then 6 cannot change. So my answer here is going to be 6. Let's take a look at another one. Let's try 7.45826. And I want this to the second decimal places. Okay? Well, that's right here. I want to round to this one, 2 decimal places. So I only look at the number following it. We're going to look at this number here. Well, I look at 8. Is 8 between 0 and 4? No, it's not. Is 8 between 5 and 9? Is 8 either 5 to 9 or any number in there? It is. 8 is somewhere in here. It belongs in this section. So if I look at this, that means we move up the number line. So this number here, we have to move up the number line. So I'm going to end up getting 7.46. These numbers are not affected. It's only this place there, and that will be my answer.